on Daf Yud Gimel Amud Bet, Dibar Machil Shoam Mipnei Hayira V'chulei, and we're recording with the finest students in the room. All right, let's start. Shoam Mipnei Hayira V'chulei. So this is a quote from the Mishnah that you may greet someone out of fear. V'chulei means etc. Rav Meir Rav Yehuda. So this was part of the machloket between Rav Meir and Rav Yehuda. Halacha Rav Yehuda. In general, when we have machloket between Rav Meir and Rav Yehuda, we follow the halacha according to Rabbi Yehuda. De Amar, who said, this is what Rabbi Yehuda said in our machloket, Afilu be'emtza meishiv mimnei hakavod, that even if you're in the middle of a paragraph, you may respond to someone out of respect. Im ke nireh shemutar la'anot kadish v'kedusha be'emtza kriyat shema. If so, if this is the case that we follow the halacha according to Rabbi Yehuda, it seems that you should be allowed to answer Kaddish and Kedusha if you're in the middle of a paragraph of Kriya Shema. Why? Because there is no greater form of respect than this. Meaning that, right, there's no, obviously if you're allowed to interrupt your paragraph of Shema in the middle of a paragraph of Shema for a person you respect, then it's like Kal V'chomer, how much more so you can interrupt your Shema for Kaddish and Kedusha. And we talked about, is Kaddish and Kedusha either that's respect for Hashem or respect for the community, right? The minyan, the tzibur. Good, Rachel. Aval be'emtza yudchet asor. But if you're in the middle of yudchet, which stands for 18, which is referring to which prayer? Shmona Esrei Ganoah, then it would be forbidden to interrupt to answer Kaddish and Kedusha. Dimash malakaman beparak ein omdin, right? As we learned later on, in Parak ein omdin on Daf Lamed Amud Aleph, that between the bracha of Baruch Hashem Ga'al Yisrael and starting Shmona Esrei, you cannot answer, right? You can't answer Kaddish or Kedusha, meaning that once you get up to the bracha of Ga'al Yisrael, you cannot interrupt, you can't speak or do anything aside from daven Shmona Esrei. V'kol shekein b'tefillah atzma, and all the more so if you're in the middle of Shmona Esrei itself, right? So if you're in the middle of Shmona Esrei, you're obviously not going to be answering Kaddish or Kedusha. The actual halacha is that if you're in the middle of Shmona Esrei and the tzibur, it happens a lot, right? Like if someone has a little bit of a long Shmona Esrei, you're just supposed to like pause where you are in davening. You could think about the words. If you're up to Elohai Nitzor, like that last paragraph, then you can actually say the words. So you just don't do like the, bouncing your feet up and down the 3 times, but you can still answer. If you're anywhere earlier in your Shmona Esrei and the Shaliach Tzibur is up to Kedusha, then you just kind of pause where you are and you could think about the words, but you don't actually say the words, based on this Gemara. All right, now we're going to skip to the end of the brackets, where it says Vav Reish Taf. That's V'Rabbeinu Tam. V'Rabbeinu Tam, and Rabbeinu Tam, who was one of the Baalei Tosafot, he was one of Rashi's grandsons. Haya Ragil Shahaya Mamtin Ba'osei Feleh. Rabbeinu Tam would regularly wait or delay once he got up to Osei Feleh, right before Shmona Esrei. In order so that he would be able to answer Kaddish and Kedusha with the community, right? It's implying that his Shmona Esrei was so long that if he would just start a Shmona Esrei, he would never be able to join with the tzibur for Kaddish and Kedusha. So instead, he would just wait until they all finished their Shmona Esreis and they would get up to Kaddish and Kedusha. V'haya sover afilu shaha kedei ligmor et hakol eino chozer larosh. And Rabbeinu Tam held that even if you wait the amount of time that it would take you to actually say the entire tefillah, you don't have to go back in the beginning and say it again. Meaning he thought you were allowed to do this. You could wait. He was allowed to wait, even though he was technically supposed to be starting Shmona Esrei. Once he got up to Osei Feleh, he would wait the full length of what it would, like double the length that it would take him to say Shmona Esrei, because he was waiting for everyone else to finish. And then for him to finish, he thought that's allowed. That's totally fine. It is fine. Yeah, that was his practice. Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah. Can you go over the beginning? Like you could stop. I wanted to not ask questions because then you would like.
Okay. So I'll pause.